Hi, welcome back to the workshop. Well, it's finally got back to me. My Kapex is back. If you're not aware of the situation and haven't seen the video that I released back in June, I received comms from Festool saying that there was a product recall on the Kapex because there was a potential problem with them and they needed to fix it. And also, while they had it back with them, they'd give it a full service. Because mine is one of the old Kapex saws that came with a lifetime warranty. So I was quite excited about that. As I mentioned in the video that I made of boxing it up, sending it off, I'll put a link below. Anyway, it left me on around June the 7th and has arrived back today, some 4 months later. And during that period, I attempted to contact Festool and get some idea of how things were progressing and why there was such a delay. I was under the impression it would be a 2-3 week turnaround. The communications back from Festool were sparse at the very best, and they were also very evasive. They wouldn't commit to what was going on, where it was, what was happening, whether they'd got it or not, whether it had been lost. So consequently, I've become very disheartened with the company. I still love their products and their kit, but the company's left me, this has left me with a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Anyway, that's enough about that. Here's the box. This is the way the driver dropped it off. It looks to be the same box that I sent it away in, but I don't know for sure. It had a single piece of tape securing it, top and bottom. So whether it's fallen out in transit and got damaged, I don't know. I've not looked in the box yet. I've waited so we could do it together. So let's get inside and see what my saw looks like. Well, on initial inspection, it doesn't appear to be any worse for wear. I can see no signs of damage from transit. The blade appears to move freely, so let's see if it works. So let's get in a little closer and see if we can detect any differences. The angle indicator plate screwed to the base actually looks new. I don't know whether it's just been cleaned and polished, but it's got an untouched look about it. The bed is definitely the same, as it still bears all of my old pencil marked markings, and I can recognise my scroll that kind of passes for handwriting. And the back of the machine as well has also still got marks on it that I recognise. The power cable is obviously still the same, as the moulded plug still got the paint on it. The main body of the saw still looks exactly the same. Now for sure, these bars, are they called trammel bars, guide rails, have either been cleaned and polished or replaced. And possibly the bearings inside, because that is running far, far smoother than it was before. Maybe they were just gunged up with sawdust and they've been cleaned, but it definitely feels a lot better. The other thing I noticed when I started it just now was that the safety release button has been either cleaned and repaired or replaced, because it now releases as it used to when it was new, and it was starting to become almost impossible to get that to release and drop down. Everything else about the saw appears to be as it was. So my Kapex is now back with me in my workshop after a 4-month staycation with Festool, I believe. I think 4 months is absolutely excessive, and I believe the lack of communications and updates on Festool's part was disgusting. However, the saw has obviously been serviced. It's been shipped back with some of the dirt that it went with, so it hasn't necessarily been valeted or cleaned and polished, but there are some notable improvements that have set it back on the same standard that it was closer to when I bought it. Can I put it that way? So I'm not sure if I want to be upset with the amount of time it took, but I'm absolutely delighted to have it back, better than it was. How would you feel? Should I be upset with Festool? Should I complain to Festool? I mean, they did go as far as to send a letter out saying, if you have any complaints, let me read it to you. Dear customer, thank you very much for your support in the Retrofit campaign. If you have any complaints about the Retrofit campaign of your Kapex, you can reach us by phone Monday, Friday between the times of 9:30 and 3 p.m. Or you can send us an email. I find that strange that they would send out a letter with the product that they've just fixed, asking you whether you'd like to complain or not. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, my big problem now is, where do I put my Kapex? Answers on a postcard. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Ta-ra!